Hey y'all, so on today's video, we starting out with a regular blazer that Jazz brought me from the thrift store. And first things first, I'm gonna start kind of cutting it because I didn't want to leave pins in it when I washed it. First things first, when you trying to revamp something from the thrift store, y'all know that y'all have to wash that stuff. So I'm kind of pinning it in place because before I take it in, before I start manipulating the fabric, I want to go ahead and wash it. Now, under normal circumstances, if I had more time to work on this, I would have put it in the cleaners. But this was literally like a less than 24-hour job, so I couldn't do that. Now, this is after I had taken it out of the washing machine and dryer, which was a mistake. I should not have dried it, but I did not have time. I went on ahead and started ironing it down and pressing it. So the first cuts that I made were just adjustments because I knew I kind of had an idea of how far I needed to take it in for, the leg parts in order to make it into a bodysuit. Now right here, I'm going ahead and I'm threading my machine so that I can go ahead and start sewing the sides in, taking the sides in, because the first step for this jumpsuit was really tailoring the sport coat down first, and then I knew I wanted to start working on the leg holes and whatnot. You always want to make sure that you're using a thread that matches your fabric. That it just irks me when people use a different color thread. I just don't understand. Like, what? All right, so now I'm back in the floor and I'm still trying to cut and get my adjustments right. And I think I just had a lot of pressure on me this day. I had multiple projects that I was working on, and we were throwing a party for my little niece, and I just couldn't get out of my head because this was the only jacket that we had, and I just could not mess this up. So I knew that, something had to shake. So I ended up leaving the pockets on initially, and then I think I figured out later on that the pockets needed to come off. With one of these, honestly, this was just full trial and error. The whole thing was just trial and error. And I'm not gonna lie, I did struggle with trying to get the fit of the sport coat right. But I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up. Okay, so if you really are thinking about taking a sport coat from the thrift store and turning it into a romper, I'm going to tell y'all right now, try to find one that does not have a tail in the back. And you know what I'm talking about. It's that little slit in the back. And I think they put that on the back of men's suits for like ease of comfort, for like when they get ready to sit down so that the suit doesn't bunch up and stuff like that. Well, because we're turning this into a romper, you have to sew that entire seam down. Unfortunately, it kind of makes your fabric uneven with the top layer of fabric, where the front, how the front lays on the body with the lapel. So just be mindful of that if you're going to do a project like this. Okay, so now I figured we were getting somewhere. Now, if you pay attention to the arms still look a little wide. After I played around with it a bit, I decided to go ahead and chop the arms off. And I cut the inner shoulder in a little bit because, like, me and Jazz, we have similar builds, but Jazz is thicker than me. Like, Jazz got a cool maybe like 30 on me. My girl got that ass too, so I knew that, you know, it needed to be a little wider down there for me. Her torso is just a couple inches longer than mine. And look at those sleeves. I hate how those sleeves were looking, so I completely cut those sleeves off, and I took that seam in the shoulder in a whole lot more. But y'all will see at the end how it ends up fitting her, and I mean, it really came out perfectly. Another thing that I'm going to share with y'all is when you're making your ruffles, you're going to want to adjust your tension all the way to 9. And then you're going to want to change your stitch length as well. You want to have the widest stitch length. So I like to sew mine on 10 when I'm using the Brother LX 3817 machine. And that's like my go-to stitch. You know, I know some people like to ruffle on their own, but look how seamless, look how perfect these ruffles come out. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. They're like the cutest little, tightest little, look at that. Beautiful. Okay, so materials on this look were really under $15 because Jazz bought that blazer, I think, for $7. And then we used this white fabric for the ruffles. That she found that at the thrift store as well, and I think that was like a couple of dollars. I want to say it was like under $5. I can't remember. Yeah, when y'all are, if you're gonna redo this project, I'm gonna tell y'all now, the most difficult part of this will be just the adjustment, really making it into a onesie itself, because I actually went and put a zipper in, and the zipper started from underneath the collar and went down because I knew she was gonna need extra room to get in there. The front part, the front seam, I had to hand sew that. And I think it was more so because this was a last minute project, but this is how it turned out. If y'all like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel.